Alrighty, we do have Winter Storm Yoshi working through. As we thought, the snow came through, ended, now we're into that icy mix. And as we thought as well, the cold air is going to be staying locked in longer than the models were projecting. So we'll talk all about that in just a second. But you can see the consequence of it. We look down into the streets of downtown Hartford, and they do not look dry to me. They certainly look covered with slush and ice. There you can see in Torrington, the crew's working hard. But it looks to me, I would suspect that in the Torrington area, they may be getting sleet right now, which is still easy to move. But if you move all that now, and then you get glaze on just bare pavement, sometimes that's tougher because then you really do need to treat it. You can't scrape it up. Here's our iCam over New London. This is where we're seeing just plain rain at this point. You can see how the satellite and radar show quite well the storm. Yoshi churning to our southwest. It's hitting that cold air. The cold air is very shallow, so you get the warmth coming in up and over that cold air. That lift creates the precipitation in the first place. And what it does is it creates differences in precipitation. The farther south, the more in the way of wet stuff. In through Connecticut, there's really this pool of shallow air that's cold, and so you get rain falling into air that's below freezing. You get sleet and freezing rain, and then eventually it's just all snow to the north. So here is sort of the array of colors that we have on early warning pinpoint Doppler, and you can see how we have a lot of pink on here. And this is where we have that icy mix. In fact, it's quite heavy. There's probably some heavy sleet and or freezing rain going on between Cornwall and Goshen at this time. You can see in the Hartford area how we have a lighter situation with probably some sleet and or a little bit of freezing rain mixing in at this point. And the farther south you are, the more likelihood there's going to be more freezing rain and less sleet. Middletown, Durham, and Wallingford. If you're having sleet now, it's probably going to be switching over more to a freezing rain situation. And then when you look farther to the south, you can see here towards Old Saybrook, Chester, Deep River, the dividing line on Route 9 seems to be between Haddam and Chester, with just the plain rain. That line will move, it'll teeter-totter back and forth during the course of the morning. We have winds coming in out of the north that's channeling cold air down the Connecticut River Valley, and some of the other north-south oriented valleys will have that colder air sustained longer because that wind will maintain that cold air from the north. But where you can get that warmth coming up and gliding over some of the hilltops, you'll probably actually go to plain rain where the valleys might stay colder. You can see the consequence of that wind, 31 in Meriden, but 28 in Hartford, 24 in Windsor Locks. Quite a little gradient right there through the Connecticut River Valley. So that cold air is just going to sit low and cause us these problems for a good portion of the morning, even into the afternoon. So when we talk about the highs today, there's a little bit of an explanation that needs to be done, and that these temperatures are basically steady temperatures through the morning and into the early afternoon. And then once we get to the later afternoon, these temperatures are actually going to crash as Arctic air comes in from the north. And look what happens tonight. Lows go to near zero tonight. That's just the air temperature. That comes with wind. Wind chills could go to between -15 and -30 by tomorrow morning. So there's real deep Arctic air that's going to follow this thing. So here's our futurecast tomorrow's weather today. This shows how we do have precipitation. I think this freezing line's a little too far to the north. That cold air will be maintained for quite a while, especially through some of the valley locations in northern Connecticut. And you can see through 3 o'clock this afternoon, finally, this precipitation is going to be coming to an end. And that's in your early warning 7-day forecast. So we have this early warning weather alert today for Winter Storm Yoshi. It should taper off by mid to late afternoon. And then once we see the precipitation ends, pretty much like a switch, that's when the colder air is going to start to sweep in. So that high of 32 until the early afternoon. And then once we get into like 3, 4, 5 o'clock, the temperatures are going to start to fall and fall really fast as we head into Sunday evening and Sunday night. So then you go down to 3 as we look towards Sunday night. And then as we head towards Monday, we are expecting to see that much colder weather with temperatures in the lower teens, but wind chills will stay below zero all day long. Tuesday's partly sunny with highs 27 to 30. Our next system comes on Wednesday. And you know what, Nicole? It's probably going to be mainly rain for that one.